Hi everybody, good morning and welcome to Morning Tarot. This is my third video for the cups. So I did 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and today we're doing 8, 9 and 10. So without further ado, I get on the stick. Unfortunately today I've been trying to get the camera to focus like yesterday, so it focused quite well on the card, but for some reason today when I was trying to do it, it would focus on the card, but it was so blurry in the background that it looked weird. So I've had to sort of settle for this sort of semi-focused look. All right, so let's get started. The Eight of Cups. This is a really interesting card, I think, because a lot of the cards in the sort of the Cup series are very, very positive, and some of them sort of talk about slightly negative situations. For me, this card talks about a situation that might feel as though it's negative, but it's actually a very good thing. It's actually a kind of a very positive situation. So what we're looking at here is looking at a figure. It looks like they're setting off on a journey up a hill. He's got his little staff, dressed in red. Red is kind of a colour of sort of passion and strength. So this is somebody who is going onwards and setting off on their journey with purpose and with strength, but also feeling a bit in need of support. They're slightly bowed in their shoulders, so they're ready to do something. They're feeling strong, but it's not something that's being set off to be done with a sense of incredible victory. And the reason I think for this is all the cups are stacked up in the foreground and the person is in the background. So the cups being kind of the issue that you're talking about, whether it's a work issue, job, study, relationship, anything. This is very much in the foreground of this person's thought and they're very much in the foreground of their mind. And we're looking at a situation where somebody has put in quite a lot of work and quite a lot of effort. They've put a lot of themselves into a situation, and they've reached a point where, after having worked very carefully, stacking up the bottom, stacking up the top, kind of building their pyramid, building and putting energy into a situation, they've come to the realization that actually it's not what they want, and so they've had to turn and walk away and set off on a new path. This can be quite difficult to do, because when you've put so much work or so much effort in something, let's say it's a job situation, so you set off on a career path, you've worked very hard, you've worked your way up, maybe you've got promotions, you've put an awful lot of energy, an awful lot of effort into it, but over time you've started to feel that actually this is not what you want to do. And it's hard then to make that decision to change your career and change your direction when you've already put in so much work and so much effort into building the path that you've already been building for yourself. And I think this card is a card that talks about having that realization and having that moment when you realize that it's time to walk away from something and to take a new path. And though it's difficult to sort of let go and change direction when you have put a lot of effort into something, it's rewarding. So this is kind of like setting out on that new journey and having to leave behind something that you've put a lot of work into. And so that could be quite confusing, it can be quite conflicting. There's kind of almost an eclipse image here. It could be seen as being moons and etc., but I see this as a kind of an eclipse. So we're just kind of completely almost blocking out one situation into the dark and then into the light, into a new situation. And it also brings to mind the idea that there are many paths up the mountain. So even though you might have been walking one path for a long time and putting a lot of effort and energy into that path, when it does come to that point where you have to turn away and take a new path, remember that there are many paths up the mountain. You have to listen to your own intuition. You have to listen to yourself. So even if it's a difficult decision, I think kind of the background with the rocks and stuff suggests that this might have been a difficult decision to make. You need to get your kit together, set off and sort of be hopeful and strike away from that. And it can be a relationship you put a lot of work, a lot of emotional energy into, a lot of time into, and then over time relationships don't work out and they fail and you have to be able to walk away from them, and it's difficult and it hurts, but it's for the best for you and for everybody else. It could be studies, it can be many different situations, and that is my interpretation. Oh, there's a bit of blue tack. That's how I'm sticking my cards on. There's a little bit of blue tack every day because I don't want to damage the back of the cards. The Nine of Cups. Okay, this card is a lovely, lovely card. Anytime you see this card in a spread, anytime I see this card in a spread, I think of it as the wish card. When I see this card, I feel like saying, it's time to make a wish. Make your wish, because you can have your wish. Whatever your wish is now, it's yours. I think this guy, he just reminds me like of a genie a little bit, with his hat and the way he's sitting like this and his knees open, this open stance. And it's like he's saying, you've got 3 wishes or something. What's your wish? Your wish is my command. It's granted. So I think when you see this card in the spread, it's an indicator of extreme good fortune. It's something that's manifested, that has turned into reality. It's success, and it's this kind of real feeling of achievement. I mean, it's the cups are displayed. There's pride in this card. You can be really proud of something when you see this card. You can choose almost anything you want to do, you can achieve. Is what I think of when I see this card. Always kind of yellow, this mental energy, this creative energy, the positivity from this card. So I think that this card just lends a huge air of positivity to any spread that it's in. It's saying sort of achievement, success, something you can be really proud of, something you might have worked for, something that's come to fruition, and that sort of the wish card. Make a wish, and your wish will be granted. It's just an amazing, lovely card to get. I don't have much to say about that card, because for me that card does have a very simple meaning. Similarly as well, actually, with the Ten of Cups, which is another lovely, 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 wonderful card to get in a spread. This card, again, very similar to the Nine of Cups, talks about extreme good fortune. And you can see just by looking at the images on the card, we've got this kind of country background, a man, a woman, beholding a rainbow. We've got children playing, a house, and up in the rainbow are all the cups. I mean, this is extreme good fortune. This is a card that talks about harmony. There's a lot of harmony. It can be especially related, I think, to family life and to personal relationships. It's everything coming together, all the good things in life at the same time manifesting in one go. And it's a reminder just to stop and kind of appreciate what you have and look at what's going on in your life in the moment. Slow down and smell the roses and really see everything around you and the people around you, the things that you love, your family, your friends, everything that comes together, and really feel that positivity, because this is an incredibly positive card. I mean, this is a card of real kind of inner peace, harmony within yourself and your situation. It's kind of like a true bliss. It's a really blissful situation when everything lines up together to just make you happy, to make you feel secure, to make you feel content, so you can kind of like step back and look at the fruits of your labours and the fruits of your endeavours and really feel grateful and happy about where you are in life. And it's just this kind of beautiful completion. And as the tens usually are, I mean, they are the completion at the kind of the end of the suit before we get into the court cards. And tens, as I mentioned before, I think with the swords, are often gate cards. That means that you've kind of reached the pinnacle of that cycle. So when you've gone through the cycle that is represented by the swords or the cups or the wands or the pentacles, and you get to 10, it's like saying, you've gone through and you've learnt that little lesson, whether you think of it as a karmic lesson or a life lesson or whatever. You've really taken that cycle, and you've gone through the cycle, you've gone through the cups, you've reached kind of an achievement point, and you're ready to move on now to the next lesson and the next stage in your life. And this card just reminds you to stop and be grateful and look around you and really appreciate your family, really appreciate all the things that have come together, and just enjoy that feeling of balance and that feeling of peace inside. Such lovely ones at the end of the cups there. So this is actually kind of a short one, I think, because I don't have a huge amount of in-depth stuff to say about, especially the 9 and the 10 of cups, because for me they are such kind of positive cards that have just a very strong meaning. Obviously, anybody else who's looking at their cards, you might see something else in it. You might see different meanings, and please do a VR and share it. And if you have a different deck, your card is going to have a different image on it as well, and that will have a different kind of feeling to it and a different interpretation. So that's always great to hear about. So I hope you're all going to have a lovely Wednesday, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye bye.